Anim na dekadang maaasahan sa balita at serbisyo publiko. Ang himpilan ng RMN Network sa Mega Manila. Live sa radyo at online. Ang mga susunod na opinyon at komentaryo ng programang Sapagkat Mahal Kita ay sariling paninindigan at saloobin ng program anchor at hindi kumakatawan sa posisyon ng DZXL RMN Manila. Sapagkat Mahal Kita. Mahal Kita. Filipinos in America, kumusta na sila? Ano ang kanilang istorya?
Yeah, naririnig kayo, Congresswoman dito sa New York area. Can you hear our audio?
Naririnig ko po kayo.
Tingin ng boses, pananaw, saloobin ng mga kababayan natin nasa ibang bansa sa iba't ibang issue sa kanilang pinakamamahal na bayang Pilipinas.
Saan kukuha ng ikabubuhay ang mga mahihirap na ito?
Sapagkat Mahal Kita, kasama batikang radio broadcaster na si Don Lino mula sa Amerika. Maririnig ng live sa WRMN New York, USA. Sapagkat Mahal Kita. Sapagkat Mahal Kita. Tuwing linggo, alas 10 hanggang alas 11 ng umaga. Dito sa himpilang DZXL 558.
I'm coming home to stay. Maraming beses na kitang nilayasan.
Iwasto ang inyong mga orasan dito sa New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Alas 10:01 ng gabi ng Sabado. At sa Metro Manila, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, alas 10:02 ng umaga ng breakfast. That's correct. Oo, Miss Cindy Gonzales, nakakagulat itong mga ibabato natin sa himpapawid. Katulad nung kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero yan, doon natin ilalagay yan sa pangawalang, pangalawang bahagi ng ating palatuntunan. Sapagkat may mga pressing issues na dapat na malaman tungkol dito sa binabalak na magkaroon ng hearing sa Senado sa EKJ, Extrajudicial na pamamaslang at nagiging kontrobersyal sa usapan ng mga kababayang Pilipino rito sa Amerika kung ito ay dapat na pamunuan sa komite ng isang senador. Kaya ang mapapakinggan nyo, ginawa kong pakikipag-usap sa isang masasabi nating Intel analyst sa Amerika patukol dyan sa issue na yan. We will exchange opinions, kung ano ang posibleng kahinatnan at dapat natutukan ng Amerika kung kinakailangan. Pakinggan nyo.
How do you think the Philippine government might respond if it feels pressure from the U.S. regarding human rights issues?
Can I ask you to repeat everything we just spoke about?
Sure. Here's a summary of our discussion. We started by talking about the possibility of a Senate investigation into the war on drugs under former President Duterte, particularly following revelations from former Colonel Maria Cristina Garma about a high number of killings, around 30,000, including drug users and drug lords. We discussed how this situation complicates things for Senator Ronald Bato Delarosa, who was the police chief at the time, as he may face scrutiny regarding his role in those operations. You expressed curiosity about whether the CIA might be monitoring these developments, given the geopolitical importance of the Philippines to the U.S. I mentioned that it's plausible they would be interested, especially concerning stability and human rights issues. We speculated that if ties between political figures and the drug trade were uncovered, it might lead to diplomatic tensions, though it likely wouldn't break the alliance. We also talked about how the U.S. might engage cautiously with the Philippines, balancing its strategic interests while advocating for accountability and reform. You pointed out that this selective engagement could alienate parts of the Philippine government, leading to potential backlash or mistrust. Finally, we reflected on how the Philippine government might respond to pressure from the U.S. regarding human rights issues, leaving the question open-ended. Does that capture everything we discussed?
I think so. I will continue expounding on it.
That sounds great. Feel free to share your thoughts or any new angles you want to explore. I'm here to help.
Go right ahead.
Sure. Building on our discussion, if the U.S. were to apply pressure regarding human rights, the Philippine government might respond in several ways. For instance, they could publicly dismiss the criticisms as external interference in domestic affairs, framing it as an attack on their sovereignty. This could rally nationalistic sentiments among the public and government officials, potentially uniting them against perceived foreign meddling. Alternatively, the Philippine government might attempt to showcase reforms or improvements in their drug policy to appease the U.S. This could involve emphasizing community-based rehabilitation programs or stricter regulations on police conduct during operations. Such a strategy might be aimed at preserving the alliance while addressing some international concerns. Furthermore, if the U.S. support were perceived as conditional or selective, it could lead to a shift in allegiance. Philippine leaders might strengthen ties with countries like China or Russia, who have historically been less critical of human rights records and more supportive of Duterte's approach to governance. There's also the possibility that internal divisions within the Philippine government could emerge. Some factions may want to continue engaging closely with the U.S. for military and economic support, while others might push back against any perceived capitulation to foreign demands. This internal conflict could complicate the government's overall stance on human rights issues. Overall, the dynamics between the U.S. and the Philippines will likely depend on how both sides navigate these complex political landscapes. How do you see the relationship evolving in the face of these challenges?
I would imagine that the CIA would continue to monitor this situation, don't you think?
Absolutely. It seems likely that the CIA and other U.S. intelligence agencies would continue to monitor the situation closely. Given the stakes involved, both in terms of regional stability and the ongoing issues surrounding human rights, the U.S. would want to stay informed about any developments, especially regarding key political figures and their connections to the drug war. Monitoring would likely include gathering intelligence on the Philippine government's responses to both domestic and international pressures. This could help the U.S. understand how best to navigate its relationship with the Philippines, whether through continued support, advocacy for reforms, or adjustments to its diplomatic strategy. Additionally, if tensions rise, or if significant changes occur in the Philippine government's approach to the drug war or human rights, it could prompt the U.S. to reassess its strategies or alliances in the region. Keeping an eye on this evolving situation would be crucial for the U.S. to maintain its interests and influence in Southeast Asia. What do you think would be the key indicators for the U.S. to watch in this ongoing situation?
The possible connections of political...
Mga pangunahing political figures tulad ni na Senator Delarosa at iba pang mga mambabatas ay maaaring magpahiwatig ng mga posibleng pagbabago sa mga polisiya o estratehiya ng gobyerno. Kung may mga palatandaan ng mga pagsasawalang bahala o pag-aaway sa loob ng gobyerno, maaaring magbukas ito ng pinto sa mga bagong alyansa o pagbabago sa direksyon ng mga patakaran. Mahalaga ring bantayan ang mga reaksyon ng mga partido sa oposisyon at mga aktivistang grupo. Ang kanilang mga aksyon at pahayag tungkol sa kampanya kontra droga at sa mga karapatang pantao ay makapagbibigay ng ideya kung paano bumubulusok ang damdamin ng publiko at ang posibleng pag-usbong ng mga reforma. Kung ang mga grupo ay magtagumpay sa pagbuo ng mas malawak na suporta mula sa mga mamamayan, maaaring magkaroon ng impluensya ito sa mga desisyon ng gobyerno. Ang ugnayan sa mga banyagang bansa tulad ng US at China ay dapat tingtingnan. Kung ang Pilipinas ay tumugon ng mas positibo sa mga alok ng tulong mula sa ibang bansa,
Magiging interesado ang American CIA
tiyak na magiging interesado ang CIA sa mga mas malalim na koneksyon ng mga politiko pagdating sa korupsyon. Ang mga issue ng korupsyon ay may malaking epekto sa katatagan ng gobyerno at sa mga patakaran sa ekonomiya. Kaya't mahalaga para sa US na malaman kung paano ito nakakaapekto sa mga operasyon at relasyon sa ibang mga bansa. Kung may mga ebidensya ng korupsyon na nag-uugnay sa mga pangunahing figur ng gobyerno sa illegal na aktibidad, tulad ng trafficking ng droga o pag-abuso sa kapangyarihan, maaaring magkaroon ito ng seryosong implikasyon sa mga relasyon sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at ng US. Ang US ay naglalayong suportahan ang mga gobyerno na sumusunod sa mga prinsipyo ng good governance at transparency. Kaya't ang anumang balita tungkol sa korupsyon ay tiyak na makapukaw ng kanilang atensyon. Maaring tumulong ang CIA sa pagbuo ng intelligence reports upang maunawaan ang lawak ng korupsyon at ang mga koneksyong ito, na maaring humantong sa mga rekomendasyon sa kung paano dapat lumapit ang US sa mga leader ng Pilipinas. Kung makikita ng CIA na ang korupsyon ay nagiging hadlang sa mga layunin ng US sa rehiyon, maaring maimpluwensyahan ito ang kanilang estratehiya at pakikipag-ugnayan sa mga leader sa Pilipinas. Sa iyong palagay, ano ang mga posibleng epekto sa politika ng Pilipinas kung ma-expose ang mga koneksyon ng mga politiko sa korupsyon?
It's a lot of mess, my friend.
Really is. The intertwining of politics, corruption, and human rights creates a complex web that's tough to navigate. If corruption were to be exposed, it could lead to public outrage, calls for accountability, and potentially significant political shifts. This might disrupt the current power dynamics and lead to a demand for reforms, but it could also result in pushback from those in power trying to maintain the status quo. The situation is definitely messy and fluid, and any development could have far-reaching consequences. How do you think the public might react if more connections between politicians and corruption come to light?
I don't know, but Bato Delarosa would be a center figure in this because he used to be the Philippine National Police head during the Tokhang operation of Duterte, don't you think?
Absolutely. Senator Bato Delarosa would indeed be a central figure in this situation. As the former head of the Philippine National Police during the Tokhang operations, he is closely tied to the actions and decisions made during Duterte's controversial war on drugs. If connections to corruption or misconduct were revealed, Delarosa would likely face intense scrutiny from both the public and lawmakers. His past role puts him at the forefront of any investigation into the actions taken by law enforcement during that time. The public might demand answers about his decisions, the policies he implemented, and the overall effectiveness of the operations. Given the significant number of casualties reported, he would be a key person to question regarding accountability and transparency. Moreover, as a prominent political figure, Delarosa's responses and actions would greatly influence public perception. His handling of any allegations could either bolster or damage his reputation, depending on how convincingly he addresses the concerns. How do you think he would respond if more serious allegations came to light?
If he would allow himself to testify as the chairman of the committee?
That's a crucial point. As the chairman of the committee, it would indeed raise ethical questions if Senator Delarosa were to testify or be involved in investigations related to his own actions during the war on drugs. Allowing himself to testify could create a significant conflict of interest, as it might not only affect his credibility, but also undermine the integrity of the inquiry itself. If he were to testify, he might be in a position where he would have to defend his actions, which could be challenging if evidence of wrongdoing emerges. On the other hand, if he chooses not to participate fully, it might be perceived as evasive or as an attempt to avoid accountability. This situation could place Delarosa in a very difficult position. He may need to balance his responsibilities as a senator with the potential implications for his political future and reputation. It could also lead to calls for a more independent inquiry if there's a belief that he can't fairly oversee the process. What do you think might be the best course of action for him in such a scenario?
The latest that I found out, he will continue to create the committee. The question is, would he ask Colonel Galman to testify.
If Senator Delarosa is proceeding with the committee, it's possible he might invite Colonel Garma or other key figures to testify. This could be a strategic move to gather more information and provide transparency to the investigation. However, it also puts him in a tricky position. If Colonel Garma's testimony contradicts Delarosa's actions or decisions during the war on drugs, it could create significant tension. Delarosa might have to navigate the delicate balance of allowing honest testimony while protecting his own interests and reputation. Additionally, the decision to call specific witnesses could reflect the committee's intent. If Delarosa genuinely aims for accountability and reform, he may feel compelled to ask for testimony that could provide a fuller picture of what transpired during the operation. Ultimately, how he approaches this will likely influence not only his political standing, but also public perception of the committee's legitimacy. What are your thoughts on whether he should prioritize accountability over his own interests in this situation? It sounds like you have a clear perspective on what Delarosa should do. What do you think he should prioritize? Should he focus on accountability and transparency, or is there another approach you believe would be more appropriate?
Give the chairmanship to another senator.
That's an interesting idea. By stepping aside and allowing another senator to chair the committee, Delarosa could help ensure the investigation is seen as more impartial and credible. This move might also help distance him from any potential conflicts of interest, allowing for a more transparent inquiry into the actions during the war on drugs. A different senator could bring fresh perspectives and possibly be more open to exploring sensitive issues without the baggage of past involvement. It might also help rebuild trust with the public and show a commitment to accountability and reform. This approach could ultimately benefit both the investigation and Delarosa's reputation in the long run. How do you think other senators or the public would respond to such a decision?
They're silent at this point. Before you continue, can you translate the later part of what we have discussed in Filipino?
Sure. Here's the translation of the later part of our discussion. Maari ring isang magandang ideya na ipasa ni Delarosa ang pamumuno sa ibang senador. Sa pamamagitan ng pag-urong at pagpapahintulot sa ibang senador na maging tagapangulo ng komite, makatutulong siya upang mas makita ang investigasyon bilang mas walang kinikilingan at mapagkakatiwalaan. Ang hakbang na ito ay maaari ring makatulong na ihiwalay siya mula sa anumang potensyal na salungatan ng interes na nagbibigay daan para sa mas transparent na pagsisiyasat sa mga aksyon noong panahon ng war on drugs. Ang ibang senador ay maaaring magdala ng bagong pananaw at maaaring mas bukas sa pag-explore ng mga sensitibong issue nang walang pasanin ng nakaraang pagkakasangkot. Maaari rin itong makatulong na muling bumuo ng tiwala sa publiko at ipakita ang isang pangako sa pananagutan at reforma. Ang ganitong paraan ay maaaring magdulot ng benepisyo hindi lamang sa investigasyon, kundi pati na rin sa reputasyon ni Delarosa sa hinaharap. Sa iyong palagay, paano magiging reaksyon ng ibang senador ng publiko sa ganitong desisyon? Let me know if you need any adjustments or if you'd like to discuss more. It will be interesting to see how the committee progresses and how the public and political figures respond. If you have more thoughts or questions as things develop, feel free to share.
Momentarily, let the CIA continue monitoring the situation.
Definitely. Keeping an eye on the situation would be crucial for the CIA and other stakeholders involved. They can gather valuable intelligence that may impact diplomatic relations and responses. As developments occur, it will be interesting to see how everything unfolds. If you have any updates or further thoughts, just let me know.
I will. And thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you later.
You're welcome. I look forward to our next conversation.
Thank you.
But if you need anything else, just let me know.
Okay. Got it.
Great. Talk to you later.
Well, maliwanag na English-Tagalog ang usapan namin, kaya hindi mahihirapan yung mga medyo slow sa English. Now, ang kasunod na dapat nating ibigay sa publiko at aming tinalakay din, yung sinasabi ng Senado na nahuli dyan sa inyo na godfather ng pogo, mga illegal na mga nagaganap, si Jiang. Pakinggan nyo itong maigi sapagkat this is very important.
The CIA and FBI are investigating Jiang due to his involvement in extensive online scamming and human trafficking operations in Southeast Asia. Recent sanctions from the US, UK, and Canada have targeted him and others linked to these crimes, highlighting the international concerns surrounding their activities and the significant impact on victims. However, there have been significant actions taken by international authorities, including the US, UK, and Canada, which recently imposed sanctions on Jiang and others involved in Southeast Asia's online scamming industry. These measures were part of a broader crackdown on human trafficking linked to scam operations in Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar. The coordinated sanctions target individuals and entities allegedly connected to human trafficking and online fraud, reflecting a growing international effort to combat these issues. Interpol is actively involved in the investigation of Jiang, who is a key figure in illegal online gambling operations. He is subject to an Interpol Red Notice. Jiang was arrested in Thailand in August 2022 based on this international warrant. The Thai authorities stated that he had been on the run since 2012. Jiang has traveled to the Philippines multiple times, particularly in connection with his illegal online gambling operation. He reportedly first arrived in the country in 2014 and has made numerous trips since then. Yes, the CIA is involved in the investigation of Jiang. His connections to extensive online gambling operations, human trafficking, and organized crime have attracted the attention of multiple U.S. agencies, including the CIA and FBI. They are examining the international implications of his activities, particularly in relation to national security and foreign influence in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. In addition, the recent sanctions imposed by the US, UK, and Canada on individuals associated with these operations indicate a coordinated international effort to address the criminal networks tied to Jiang, and underscores the broader concern about the impact of such activities on regional stability and security. Yes, Australian intelligence is involved in the investigation surrounding Jiang. Reports indicate that Australian authorities are collaborating with their counterparts in the United States to address allegations of espionage and organized crime connected to Jiang. This ongoing collaboration reflects a broader international effort to tackle issues related to espionage, illegal gambling, and other serious crimes that may have transnational implications. His credibility is under scrutiny given his status as a wanted criminal in China. Yes, the CIA and FBI are reportedly involved in investigations related to Jiang, particularly concerning claims of espionage in the Philippines. These investigations come amid broader concerns about China's influence in the Philippines and the activities of Chinese nationals, which some local officials believe could pose security threats. The intelligence units are particularly focused on determining the extent of Jiang's operations and her connections with local and international criminal syndicates. Reports indicate that his operations have extended beyond illegal gambling to include serious allegations such as human trafficking, particularly involving minors. He has brought forward allegations of his connections with local officials and criminal syndicates. These associations have led to calls for further scrutiny into his activities and the potential involvement of other international criminal networks. The extent of bribery involving Jiang in the Philippines appears to be significant, particularly in relation to his illegal online gambling operations. Reports suggest that he may have used bribery to gain influence and protect his business interests. Investigations have revealed that local officials and law enforcement may have been complicit in facilitating his operations, with claims that some officials received bribes to overlook illegal activities, indicating that the situation is part of a broader problem of governance and the influence of organized crime in the region. Yes, the CIA, FBI, and Interpol are reportedly involved in investigating the activities of Jiang in the Philippines. These agencies are looking into allegations of organized crime, human trafficking, and illegal online gambling linked to him, as they investigate claims of bribery and corruption involving local officials who may have facilitated Jiang's operations. This collaboration underscores the serious nature of the allegations and the broader implications for national security in the region. Yes, the CIA, FBI, and Interpol do have a presence in Manila. They collaborate in government agencies on various issues, including organized crime, drug trafficking, and terrorism. Their involvement is part of broader international efforts to enhance security and combat transnational crime in the region. Specifically, Interpol has a regional office in Manila that focuses on fostering cooperation between countries in Southeast Asia to address crime and security threats. Meanwhile, the CIA and FBI typically work through liaison officers and joint task forces. Yes, Jiang is currently incarcerated. He is being held in Thailand on charges related to illegal online gambling. Yes, the claims made by Jiang about being a spy are currently under scrutiny. His allegations, which include connections to the Chinese Ministry of State Security and local Philippine officials. However, these claims are being questioned due to his status as a detainee. There are concerns about the credibility of his testimony, especially since it may not hold up in court without the ability for cross-examination. The investigations are ongoing. Jiang's business empire in the Philippines, particularly in the Philippine offshore gaming operator, Delarosa sector, is reported to be substantial, although exact figures are difficult to pin down. Estimates suggest that the revenue generated from his operations could be in the millions of dollars. Pogo licenses have been lucrative, attracting investments from Chinese nationals and others involved in online gambling. Jiang's activities have drawn the attention of authorities due to allegations of illegal operations, bribery, and connections to organized crime. As a result, his business dealings are now under investigation, leading to questions about the sustainability and legality of his empire. Yes, the CIA, FBI, and Interpol are looking into the business operations of Jiang in the Philippines. Their investigations focus on allegations related to illegal online gambling, bribery, and possible connections to organized crime and espionage. As they delve deeper into Jiang's activities, which have raised significant concerns regarding national security and the influence of organized crime in the region. Whether Jiang is a fake spy is still a matter of debate. His claims of being involved in espionage have been met with skepticism, especially given his current status as a detainee in Thailand. However, no definitive conclusions have been reached regarding the validity of his espionage claims. If the CIA, FBI, and Interpol continue their investigations into Jiang, we can expect a thorough examination of his activities related to illegal online gambling, bribery, and possible espionage. These agencies often collaborate with local law enforcement to gather evidence and build cases, especially in situations involving transnational crime. Given the complexities of such investigations, the agencies might look into financial records, connections with local officials, and any links to organized crime networks. The outcomes of these investigations could significantly impact Jiang's legal standing and the broader implications for international relations, especially between the Philippines and China. The characterization of Xi Jinping as the godfather of illegal activities in Southeast Asia is a significant and complex claim. While there are allegations of increased Chinese influence in organized crime and illegal enterprises, particularly in the context of illegal online gambling and other criminal activities, attributing such a title directly to Xi Jinping is more contentious. Some analysts argue that under Xi's leadership, there has been a rise in the involvement of Chinese nationals in various illicit activities across Southeast Asia, including the Philippines. This includes claims that criminal networks have connections to the Chinese Communist Party, though direct evidence linking Xi to these activities remains. The situation is complicated further by the geopolitical dynamics in the region and the varied interests of different parties involved. Investigations by international agencies like the CIA, FBI, and Interpol are ongoing and focus on individuals like Jiang, who is accused of running illegal gambling operations and may have ties to organized crime. While some suggest that these activities reflect a broader trend of state-sponsored crime, directly linking Xi Jinping to them as a godfather figure lacks concrete evidence. And reports suggesting that Jiang may have connections to organized crime groups, often referred to as the mafia in colloquial terms. His operations in the Philippine offshore gaming operator, OO sector, have raised concerns about possible ties to illegal activities and syndicates. Investigations are ongoing to explore these potential connections and the extent of his influence. However, concrete evidence linking him directly to established mafia organizations remains to be seen. The nature of his business operations, particularly the allegations surrounding them, has drawn scrutiny from both local and international law enforcement agencies. The CIA and FBI are indeed investigating the presence of Italian mafia organizations in the Philippines, particularly in relation to illegal gambling and other criminal activities. Reports indicate that these investigations focus on the connections between local criminal syndicates and foreign organized crime groups, including those from Italy, as they may involve money laundering and other illegal enterprises tied to the mafia. The presence of these organized crime groups poses significant challenges to law enforcement in the region. The CIA and FBI are investigating Jiang due to his involvement.
And maliwanag na ang latest sa aming mga pag-uusap, si Jiang ay idinibank na ng intelihensya ng Amerika. Meaning na yung sinasabi niyang siya ay spy para sa China, that's nonsense. So, nasa sa inyo na yan, sa otoridad ng Pilipinas, kung susugsugin niyo pa yan at mag-aaksaya lang kayo ng pera, panahon tungkol dyan. Anyway, commercial muna ang DZXL. Commercial!
That time check was brought to you by ACS Manufacturing Corporation, ISO certified world-class quality.
Santon Plus Coffee Mix.
Ako nga pala si Mark, isang call center agent. Katuwang ko sa araw-araw na duty ang Santon Plus Coffee Mix. Di ako nakakaramdam ng antok at pagod. Always akong alert. Try niyo ang Santon Plus Coffee Mix.
Santon Plus Coffee Mix. May kape ka na, may gamot ka pa. Mabibili sa mga butika.
Mula sa #1 Smart Dishwashing Paste.
Ang galing-galing mo! Smart Dishwashing Paste ko! Pritong ulam na masebo, plato at kaldero. Tanggaling for everyday.
Ganyan pag Smart ang dishwashing paste. May double tanggaling formula. Tanggal galing ang sebo at bakterya.
Bahid para walang bahid, linis fantastic sa metal at plastic. #1 ko to! Tanggaling-galing mo! Smart Dishwashing Paste.
Heavy duty linis bawat pahid.
Smart Dishwashing Paste, manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified, world-class quality.
ACS.
Santon Plus Gold.
Nga pala si Tony. Problema ko ang paglaki ng aking prostate. Nang malaman ko ang kaepektibo ng Santon Plus Gold, sinubukan ko ito at sa loob lamang ng 2 buwan, lumiit na ang prostate ko at nakakalakad na ako.
Santon Plus Gold. Mas pinalakas, pinagaling, pinahusa. Santon Plus Gold. Mabibili sa mga butika. Santon Vitamin C. Ang alkaline na vitamin C.
Ako si Eric. Dati ang hina ng katawan ko. Maambunan lang ng konti. Nagkakatrangkaso na agad ako. Pero after ko mag-take ng Santon Vitamin C regularly, malakas na ang katawan ko.
Santon Vitamin C. Ang alkaline na vitamin C. Mabibili sa pinakamalapit na butika sa inyong lugar.
Charm Fabric Conditioner with Bloom Fresh Technology. May antibacterial na at ka-bloom sa bango ang damit.
Charm Fab Gold. Makabloom sa charm. Walang amoy kulong. Kahit sampay sa loob. Makabloom sa charm.
Charm Fabric Conditioner. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS.
Mapagpatawad. Tulay sa pagkakaisa. Hakbang tungo sa pagkakasundo at lunas ng mga sugat ng nakaraan. Sa kapatawaran, nabubuksan ang pinto ng pag-unawa. Magpatawad kayo sa isa't isa, gaya ng pagpapatawad ng Diyos sa inyo. Ephesians 4:32. Mapagpatawad, ikaw ang ilaw ng M Extraordinary Pinoy. Brought to you by MX3 Coffee and Tea.
Be Extraordinary with MX3.
Si Mommy at si Washing Machine believe sa Pride Washing Machine Detergent.
Hello, Washi!
Hello, Mommy!
Laundry day na naman. Ready ka na sa mancha, chocolate, putik, libag?
Kaya yan ang Pride Washing Machine Detergent. May triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at malupit na dumit mancha. Easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon. All you need is pride. All you need is pride.
Pride Detergent, manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified, world-class quality.
ACS.
Santon Plus Herbal Capsule.
Ako si Joseph. 5 years na akong Santon Plus Herbal Capsule user. Walang ibang gamot na nakapagpagaling sa aking cirrhosis of the liver, kundi Santon Plus Herbal Capsule lang. The best talaga.
Santon Plus Herbal Capsule. Mabibili sa mga butika. DZXL News. Ang himpilan ng RMN. Kasama ang batikang radio broadcaster na si Don Lino live mula sa WRMN New York, USA. Sapagkat mahal kita.
Take me back in your arms, Manila, and promise me you'll never let go. Promise me you'll...
Nandirito muli ang Sapagkat Mahal Kita, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Nagpapasalamat tayo sa lahat ng tumatangkilik sa 558 DZXL RMN News Manila at sa mga nakakalat na broadcast stations ng Radio Mindanao Network. Humigit kumulang 6 na po. That's very true. Alam nyo, kanina, maraming reaksyon sa pamamagitan ng ipinapadalang mga mensahe rito sa Amerika nang narinig nila yung mga hindi nila nababasa dyan sa inyo, sa inyong mga pahayagan. Especially doon sa latest ng CIA, Interpol at ng FBI na idinibunk na ngayon yung sinasabing espiya na si Jiang. Pero siya ang lumalabas na multi-billionaire Chinese na kung tawagin sa Italian Mafia, Capo de Tutti Capo. Siya yung pinaka godfather. Hindi yung isa na nahuli riyan sa inyo na nakakulong na tila. Yun nasa ilalim yun, underboss yun ni Jiang. Okay? Para maliwanag. Ngayon, alam niyo ba nagkaroon dito sa Amerika ng pangatlong karahasan na sana ay natepo itong presidential candidate na si Donald Trump. Pangatlo. Nakakamangha. Pakinggan nyo.
Was an arrest at a Trump rally in Coachella, California, which was initially reported as a potential assassination attempt. A man named Vem Miller was found with weapons in his vehicle and claimed to be a Trump supporter. While authorities suggested there might have been intent to harm, Miller denied any assassination plans, stating he was there to support Trump. This incident follows earlier attempts on Trump's life this year, making it the third such attempt reported. If you're interested in more details, I can help with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
In October 2024, Vem Miller was arrested near a Trump rally in Coachella with weapons in his car. Initially thought to be an assassination attempt, Miller insisted he meant no harm and was only there to support Trump. This incident follows 2 previous assassination attempts against Trump in the same year, including one where he was shot at during a rally. Despite the serious implications, details about Miller's intentions remain unclear. The recent incident at the Trump rally in Coachella, California, was labeled as a potential assassination attempt when Vem Miller was arrested for having weapons in his car. Although initially perceived as a serious threat, Miller claimed he was simply there to support Trump. Authorities are still investigating the situation. This is the third reported assassination attempt against Trump this year, with the previous incidents involving actual gunfire.
Was there an arrest?
Vem Miller was taken into custody near the Trump rally in Coachella for having weapons in his vehicle. Although the incident was initially reported as a potential assassination attempt, Miller claimed he had no intent to harm and was simply there to support Trump. The investigation is ongoing, with authorities looking into the situation further. For more details, you can check the report.
How about the rally tomorrow?
This rally is part of his campaign for re-election and will address key issues, including economic policies and inflation.
What happened to the Pennsylvania rally? Was it cut short because of some incident?
During Donald Trump's rally in Oaks, Pennsylvania, he had to cut his remarks short due to 2 medical emergencies in the crowd. After the second incident, he decided to turn the event into a concert, encouraging music instead of continuing his speech. Despite the interruptions, many attendees felt a strong enthusiasm for Trump and his message regarding the economy and energy policies.
What happened to the people who got sick?
At the rally in Oaks, Pennsylvania, 2 people experienced medical emergencies, prompting the event to pause. One man collapsed and was taken out on a stretcher, while a woman on the opposite side also needed assistance, but was able to walk out with help. After these incidents, Donald Trump decided to play music instead of continuing with questions, referring to the individuals as patriots. Ultimately, 3 people were transported by ambulance, but their current status is not known.
All right. Thank you.
Well, hindi kasi masyadong binubugbog kahit dito sa Amerika yung pangatlong attempt dun sa Celle, California. Kaya, I decided to share it yan sa Pilipinas. Anyway, alam niyo yung kay Sara Duterte, iba yung aking pananaw dito eh. Sapagkat maraming nagagalit kay Vice President Sara dun sa binanggit niya na, may isang insidente na magkasama sila ni President Marcos at sabi niya gusto niyang tagpasin yung ulo at yung isa naman ay nakapagbitaw siya ng salita na kapag hindi niya tinigilan yan, so on and so forth. Pupuntahan ko sa libingan ng mga bayani ang inyong tatay at kukunin ko ang kanyang labi at itatapon ko sa West Philippine Sea. I don't think gagawin nyo ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Siyempre, yung mga mainit ang dugo sa mga Duterte, pinalaki ng katakot-takot, lalo na mga mambabatas. I think sinasabi lang niya, yung ginagawa nila sa akin, quote and unquote, dyan sa Kongreso, maliban sa Senado, sa mababang kapulungan, siya ay nababastos. I've seen how di mambabatas kung paano siya tanungin-tanungin ng patemplang-templang at hindi binibigyan ng paggalang yung kanyang pagiging vice-presidente. At para talagang hinahanapan siya ng butas na para siya mag-resign o para siya ma-impeach. Yun ang usapan dito sa Amerika. Kaya siya nagbitaw ng salita kay Senator Amy Marcos sapagkat kapatid siya ng Pangulo at ang Pangulo ay pinsang buo ng Speaker of the House at ang Speaker of the House under niyang lahat eh. Yung mga bumibirada kay Vice President Duterte. Kay Sara. Kaya siya nagbitaw na sa akin Miss Cindy Gonzales, parang hyperbole yun eh. Na, sige, hindi niyo ako titigilan. Sinasabi lang niya na nung ang tatay niya ang Pangulo, ang halos 90% ng Kapilipinuhan sa ibang panig ng daigdig ayaw nilang ilibing. Dekada lumipas. Ayaw nilang ilibing sa libingan ng mga bayani si Ferdinand Marcos. Wala. Kaya ipinris nila Nilagyan nila ng yelo yung ataol, dinala nila dun sa Ilocos, at ilang taon na nandoon yun. Dahil talagang nais ni Ginang Marcos na sa libingan ng mga bayani ilibing. Walang nagsasabi na wag ilibing. Ang sinasabi ng Kapilipinuhan at the time, bago naging Pangulo, itong si Ferdinand Marcos, at bago naging Pangulo, si Digong Duterte, ayaw nila. Galit sila. Lalo na yung mga naging biktima nung di umanong mga karahasan noong panahon ng martial law. Subalit nang umupo, si Digong Duterte, walang makapalag. Kahit na langgam. Sinabi niya, ililibing yan. Libing sa libingan ng mga bayani. Kaya sinasabi ni, ang basa ko, sa sinasabi nitong si Sara Duterte na Vice Presidente, bakit siya ginaganon ng mga Marcoses? Kaya sabi niya, kung ganon, hukayin ko yan, tapo ko yan sa West Philippine Sea. But I don't think, alam niya yon na wala siyang kapangyarihan. Miski siya maging Pangulo ng Pilipinas, wala siyang kapangyarihan na kunin yon sa libingan ng mga bayani at itapon niya sa dagat. So, yung mga medyo ang tawag dyan, Miss Cindy Gonzales, mga tinitibi, constipated. Tigilan nyo na yan, you know. Pati yung mga kaibigan ko, nakikita ko sa social media, mga sinasabi nyo. Sariwain nyo ang mga timeline. Sariwain nyo. Ulitin ko sa inyo, ayaw ng 90% ng Pilipinas na malibing si Ferdinand Marcos sa libingan ng mga bayani hanggang dumating si Duterte. So, ilang taon yung lumipas na yun? Nilibing. Nagkaroon pa ng seremonya. So, yun ang aking basa kaya siya nakapagbitaw ng ganung salita. Pakinggan natin.
Ako, binatira ko nila kanya-aliyaw. I am a subject of Mega Millions PR attack. I am a subject of a House Committee hearing.
Masabi raw ng mga pag-atake sa kanya. May nasabi raw siya minsan sa kapatid ng Pangulo at si Senadora Amy Marcos.
Isang beses sinabihan ko talaga si Senator Amy. Sabi ko sa kanya, hindi kayo tumigil. Puukayin ko yung antay ninyo. Itatapon ko siya sa West Philippine Sea. Sinabihan ko si Senator Amy. One of these days, pupunta ko doon, kunin ko yung kawanan sa inyo. Kunin ko yan doon sa West Philippine Sea. Yung malalam, nandun pa yun sa beach. Mayroong mga nakakita, may mga tao. Imagine niyo, meron na yung speaker na on record, on paper, in another country na tumanggap ng sugod. Yeah. Imagine myself, something in his head. Na, diba? Ganyan na yung imagination mo, sinasakal mo na yung when I said, it is over. Sabi nung graduate, Mr. President, can I have your watch as a graduation gift? Nasagot niya, why? Why will I give you my watch? At that point, ang galing yung ulo niya ba? And it did not help na itong dalawang katabi ko, tumawa pa. Pinagpunan pa nila yung bata. Hindi marunong maging presidente. Don't ever remember may platform siya na sinabi kung anong gagawin niya para sa bansang ito. Kaya nga, umalis ako, di ba, sa administration. Hindi ko na gusto yung mga naririnig ko doon. Hindi ko na gusto yung mga nakikita. Di ba, pag nakita niyo siya, sabihan niyo siya, alam niyo, don't ever mention her name or say na I was deceived by her, ganyan. Parang hindi tayo nag-deceived, diba? Tinanong ko, bakit ako? And then she said, matatalo kami ni Lenny kung hindi mo dalhon ang mga Bisaya. So, of course, ginamit nila ako para manalo sila. I am here sitting now today to tell everyone, they need me. I don't need them. Ako, ginapira ko nila kada adlaw. I am a subject of Mega Millions PR attack.
Ayun. Maliwanag, Miss Cindy Gonzales. Yan, buusok na naman yung inyong computers dito sa Amerika. Well, isang tabi muna natin yan. Huwag natin masyadong sisirin yan. Para sa akin yan, ano lang yan. Bulaklak ng dila yan ni Vice President Sara Duterte. That's right. Ngayon, merong mga bagay-bagay tayong nais na tunghayan. Patukol naman doon sa mga nailahad nitong si Colonel Garma. In addition doon sa mga nasabi pa niya nung mga nakakaraang linggo. Pakinggan natin.
Help with more detailed information.
We are on the same topic involving Fort Leonardo.
So Leonardo, also linked to Colonel Roina Garma, was mentioned in multiple testimonies during the hearings on extrajudicial killings in the Philippines. He was specifically implicated in the planning and execution of the assassination of Wesley Barayuga, the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, PCSO Board Secretary. Testimonies from police officers, including Local Coroner Santi Mendoza, revealed that Leonardo had approached Mendoza in 2019 with instructions to kill Barayuga, allegedly acting under Garma's orders. The killing was reportedly connected to Barayuga's knowledge of corruption within the PCSO and his intention to expose these irregularities. Leonardo and Garma were both closely associated with former President Rodrigo Duterte, seen as part of the broader pattern of extrajudicial killings during Duterte's war on drugs. Several witnesses during the hearings also tied Leonardo to the infamous Davao Death Squad, a vigilante group reportedly responsible for the numerous killings of suspected criminals when Duterte was mayor of Davao City. In summary, Leonardo played a significant role in these operations, often carrying out or facilitating high-profile killings that further solidified the administration's brutal approach to the drug problem in the country. Would you like more information about his involvement or details from specific testimonies?
Yes. Could you translate everything you said in Filipino?
Si Colonel Edilberto Leonardo, na nauugnay din kay Colonel Roina Garma, ay nabanggit sa ilang testimonya kaugnay ng mga extrajudicial killings sa Pilipinas. Ngayon sa mga pahayag sa pagdinig, siya ay direktang sangkot sa pagpaplano at patay kay Wesley Barayuga, ng PCSO Board Secretary. Paul Santi Mendoza ay nagtatotoo na si Leonardo ang nag-utos sa kanya na isagawa pagpatay noong 2019 sa utos Piumano ni Garma. Ang pagpatay kay Barayuga ay may kinalaman sa nalalaman niyang mga katiwalian sa PCSO na balak niyang ilantad. Si Leonardo at Garma ay parehong malapit kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Sila ay pinaniniwala ang bahagi ng malawakang extrajudicial killings na naganap sa ilalim ng war on drugs ng administrasyon. May ilang saksi din sa pagdinig na nag-ugnay kay Leonardo sa Davao Death Squad, isang grupo ng mga vigilante na di umaring tangkot sa maraming pagpatay ng mga pinaghihinalaang kriminal noong si Duterte ay alkalde pa ng Davao City. Sa kabuuan, si Leonardo ay may mahalagang papel sa mga operasyong ito na nakatulong sa pagpapatibay ng marahas na kampanya ng administrasyon laban sa droga. Kung kailangan mo pa ng karagdagang impormasyon o detalye mula sa mga testimonya, ipaalam mo lang.
Tell me more about your Nardo and Garma.
Leonardo and Colonel Roina Garma have been implicated in significant cases of extrajudicial killings in the Philippines, primarily during the Duterte administration's war on drugs. Leonardo, as mentioned in congressional testimonies, was closely involved in the assassination of Wesley Barayuga, with orders reportedly coming from Garma. Barayuga was set to expose corruption within the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, PCSO, and his death was seen as an attempt to prevent him from testifying. Testimonies indicated that Leonardo played a direct role in relaying orders to execute the plot, and he has been tied to other killings during the anti-drug campaign. Garma, on the other hand, has faced accusations of using her position in both the police and the PCSO to carry out or facilitate extrajudicial killings. Witnesses have connected her to several high-profile killings, including the deaths of Chinese drug lords in Davao and the broader operation of the Davao Death Squad, a vigilante group associated with Duterte's administration during his time as mayor. These individuals represent key figures in the systematic approach of the Duterte government's war on drugs, where thousands of killings took place under the guise of anti-drug operations. Despite mounting evidence and witness testimonies, both Leonardo and Garma have denied the allegations. Nonetheless, their involvement continues to be a focal point in calls for accountability and justice in the Philippines.
Can you translate that in Filipino?
Parehong si Colonel Edilberto Leonardo at Colonel Roina Garma ay nasangkot sa malalaking kaso ng extrajudicial killings sa Pilipinas. Partikular na noong panahon ng kampanya laban sa droga ng Administrasyong Duterte. Si Leonardo, yun sa mga testimonya sa Kongreso, ay malapit na sangkot sa pagpatay kay Wesley Barayuga kung saan ang mga utos biniwano ng galing kay Garma. Si Barayuga ay may balak na ilantad ang katiwalian sa Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, PCSO. Ang kanyang pagtamahay ay nakitang paraan para pigilan ang kanyang pagtestigo. Ayon sa mga pahayag, si Leonardo ay may direktang papel sa pagpapatupad ng plano. Siya ay iniugnay rin sa iba pang mga pagpatay na naganap sa ilalim ng kampanya laban sa droga. Si Garma naman ay nakaharap sa mga paratang na ginagamit niya ang kanyang posisyon sa pulisya at sa PCSO upang may tagawa o magpagawa ng mga extrajudicial killings. Ayon sa mga saksi, siya ay sangkot sa ilang malalaking pagpatay, kasama na ang pagkamatay ng mga Chinese drug lords sa Davao. Konektado rin siya sa operasyon ng Davao Death Squad, isang grupo ng vigilante na nauugnay sa Administrasyong Duterte. Doon siya ay alkalde ng Davao City. Ang kanilang mga papel ay tinuturing na mahalaga sa sistematikong pagpapatupad ng war on drugs ng Administrasyong Duterte, kung saan libo-libong mga pagpatay ang naganap sa ngalan ng kampanya sa droga. Tuloy na itinatanggi ni Leonardo at Garma ang mga paratang, nananatiling sentro sila ng mga panawagan para sa hustisya at pananagutan sa Pilipinas.
Ipatuloy mo ang report sa pagkamatay ni Mayor Espinosa.
Ni Mayor Rolando Espinosa Sr. noong Nobyembre 2016, isa sa mga pinaka-controversial na kaso sa panahon ng administrasyon ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Si Espinosa, na alkalde ng Albuera Leyte, ay inaresto dahil sa mga paratang na sangkot siya sa illegal na droga. Kapag siya ay nakapit lang sa Taytay City sa provincial jail, pinaspan siya ng mga operatiba ng Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, CIDG, sa isang di-umano'y shootout. Ayon sa mga ulat ng pulisya, sila ay nagsagawa ng operasyon para magsilbi ng search warrant sa selda ni Espinosa dahil di umano'y mayroong baril at droga sa loob ng kanyang selda. Sinasabi ng pulisya na naparil nila si Espinosa matapos itong manlaban. Alis, marami ang tumutok sa versyon na ito ng mga autoridad. Ang Senado ng Pilipinas sa isang pag-iimbestiga, pinaglabas ng ulat na nagsasabi ng insidente sa isang rumo kung sinadyang pagtatay. Kung ito sa investigasyon na si Mayor Espinosa, ay handa na sanang magbigay ng informasyon ukol sa pagkakatakot ng ilang mga sa opisyal sa illegal na droga. Ang kanyang pagkamatay ay pinaniniwalaang para kapatid siya. Walang makita na nagdadala ng baril si Espinosa sa kanyang selda. Parilin ng mga pulis na pumunta roon. Kasama sa mga inakusahan si Superintendent Marvin Mangke na siyang nimunaw sa operasyon. Si Marcos at isa pa mga pulis ay kinasuhan ng murder. Ngunit kalaunan ay binaba ang mga kaso sa homicide.
Ibinaba ang kaso matindi, Vicente Gonzales, itong mga nababanggit nating mga usapan with itong mga kasangga natin dito na nasa intelihensya ng Amerika, you know. Anyway, doon sa mga nagnanais na pakinggan nyo itong palatuntunan ito sa kabuuan, anytime, any week, miski na sa isang taon pa, Punta kayo sa YouTube. Lagay nyo sa search. Sapagkat Mahal Kita at ang petsa ng Oktubre 20, 2024. Okay? At nagpapasalamat muli tayo sa lahat ng sumusubaybay dito sa Sapagkat Mahal Kita, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Simulcast with DZXL RMN News Manila. Si Lino Celle po ito. Hanggang sa muli, next week, 10 a.m. Metro Manila time, Sunday. Back to you, XL.
Maraming beses na kitang nilayasan, iniwanan at
para di madaling masira ang ngipin ng pamilya, ngayon pa lang,
Unique toothpaste for brushing every after kumain.
Dahil ang Unique toothpaste, may Max Protect formula.
Ngipin ay Max Alaga, Max Protektado pa.
Helps stop cavities even before they start, while keeping breath fresh with regular use.
Unique toothpaste for brushing, para siguraduhin ngipin ay Max Alaga, Max Protektado pa. Unique
Max Alaga, Max Protektado with Unique toothpaste maximum fluoride protection. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS. Hi, I'm Dulce, your Asia's power singing diva from